So I want to be rich, right? I want to be rich. I want to make sure I never have to ever think about money ever again, right? I feel like that thought has plagued my mind since I was like 5 or 6 years old. And I think, it made me the person I am today. And I know what you're thinking. What does this have to do with forgiving people, right? Well, it does because I'm desperate to the point to where I want to figure out how to change my identity so I can change my reality. And at first, I wanted to really understand what um makes up your reality. And I went on ChatGPT. I looked up what makes up your perception of reality, and it gave me a list, right? A pretty good list of things that make up my reality. And it gave me about 10 things, and it was like your sensory input. So, like what you see, what you hear, what you feel, right? And then your second one is your belief and your worldview, right? Like your religious belief, cultural, whatever. And then the third one was the one that stood out to me out of all 10 things. And it was your past experiences. And it was like your trauma, your success, your relationships, and your failures, right? Because your brain creates a pattern and it recognizes and it replays it over and over and over again. And then, of course, it said emotional state, time, attention, focus, language, and thought, subconscious programming. That's important too. Your environment, culture, that's important too. Biological and neurological factors. And then your spiritual awareness and consciousness, right? But number three was the one that stood out to me the most because I know I do everything. I'm on this journey to get rich and I want to get rich, and because how I grew up, and I know that affects me a lot. And because I know my perception, if I perceive things differently, then I'm going to be able to change my reality. I would like to apologize first. I am the type of person that has to explain what I am doing or what I am trying to say before I say it, just so there's no confusion and there's no clarity in the future, right? But basically, this made me go down this rabbit hole of my perception and my identity. And of course, I kept asking ChatGPT questions. And the question that I asked ChatGPT was, how do I change my beliefs about myself and what causes me to believe the things that I currently do? And it is my past traumas, right? Everything that I asked ChatGPT, it always squared back to my past. And I was like, okay. So I know that there's a lot of situations and a lot of people that I came across and encountered that changed the way or altered the way I believe things or the way I see things, right? And that's because when it happened to me, I kept telling myself this and I kept telling myself that. And I don't want to tell myself these things anymore, just because I know that whenever I do tell myself these things, it alters a decision that I make that cuts me off from a certain opportunity or multiple opportunities. And I believe that's why I'm not where I am now. And I want to be at that place. In order for me to be there, I gotta stop doing that, right? And that's where this video ties into, where that's when I realized that I need to make this video or I need to forgive people. And the reason why I decided to just make this a video rather than me doing it is because I forget things and I sometimes go back to my YouTube videos to see what I'm talking about just so I can ingest what I'm talking about. And I am the type of person who has to talk out loud in order to think better. That's my dream car. That's my dream car. Well, that's not my dream car, but it's an i4. My dream car is an M4. That's just like the electric version. Um, that's random. But if there's one thing that I want you to take from this video at all, is that you are who you are because of how you responded and how you currently responding to what happened to you in the past. And when you don't forgive other people or yourself, but that's for another video, when you don't forgive other people, your brain creates these phrases that it repeats to itself multiple times, multiple times, multiple times until it becomes your belief, and then that shapes your identity. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about you forgiving people and the people that did you wrong, the people that molested you, people that made you feel inadequate or not enough, or made you feel like you were an option. People that just overall changed your entire brain chemistry. Now, I want this to be known. There's two things I want you to understand, right? It doesn't take a day to forgive somebody completely. It takes repetition And you can start today, but it will not take you a day alone to forgive somebody. And another thing is, words are powerful. Yes, what you say in your head, that's powerful, but what you actually say out loud, what you declare, is powerful, right? And actions speak louder than words. Remember that. Words are powerful and actions speak louder, which makes actions more powerful than your words. Now that's said and done and out the way, I wrote this down in my notes, but I want you to know that forgiveness, the goal is to forgive, but forgiveness is not pretending that it didn't hurt. Whatever happened to you, however it affected you, psychologically, emotionally, physically, do not pretend that it didn't hurt. That is not forgiveness. Forgiveness is not excusing someone's behavior, allowing that to happen again. That is not forgiveness. Forgiveness is not allowing them to come back into your life. And I believe a lot of people have that wrong. They think if they forgive somebody, they can waddle their way back into your life and then give them the opportunity to make them do it again. Forgiveness is not agreeing with what they did. And 100% forgiving is not forgetting that it happened. It's not forgetting the past, right? You can't really forget it because it alters your everyday decisions. Now, I'm going to say it again. You are who you are because of the pain that you got from that person. Now, remember when I said words are powerful? I need you to understand this the most. Please understand this. Now, this is the thing that kind of blew my mind. And like I said, words are powerful, right? When you speak, you are declaring things. If you say, I am, I am, I am, you are declaring that over your life. You're saying I am, which means you are going to be, which means your actions are going to align to that. So you got to watch what you say. I'm sorry, this sun is just smacking me, bro. So whenever you do not forgive somebody, you are saying to yourself that allows you to not forgive them, you are saying, I am someone who was betrayed. I am someone who wasn't protected. I am someone who wasn't chosen because I wasn't good enough, whatever. And then you're saying, I am someone who was hurt. So whenever you say that, whenever you, and these are subconscious, by the way, these are things you're not actively saying out loud. They're subconscious. You're saying it. But because you are saying it and you're repeating yourself and you're seeing yourself as that, you act that way. So then you got to overcompensate by doing something. You got to go to the gym, or you got to become the best athlete. And I'm not saying these are bad things. You can become who you want to become, but you got to ask yourself, why are you becoming that? You forgiving them is not for them. It is not for them to feel guilt free. It is not for them to feel good. It is for you. Whenever you forgive them, you are rejecting those phrases, because you're not going to tell yourself, I am not chosen. You're not going to say that. You're not going to tell yourself, I'm not good enough. I am not good enough. You're not saying that. That is coming out of your vocabulary, out of your subconscious. And the biggest thing that I know, I said you can take, if you could take one thing from this video, it's actually something else that's bigger than that I want you to take from this video, is that God is biblical. You got to forgive people. You have to forgive people, because when you don't forgive people, God is not going to forgive you. You're saying that when you don't forgive somebody, you're saying that they should be handled this way. You're judging them. You're taking on that judgment. When you forgive them, there's so much weight that's lifted off your shoulders, because you're taking that role of judgment off of you. And like I said, I'm not saying that you're telling them, nah, nothing should happen to them. You're giving that to literally God. You're literally giving that judgment to God. And God, obviously he's fair. He is fair. The same reason he doesn't answer your prayers immediately is the same reason he doesn't kill you immediately after you sin. That's just something I need to say. And the two Bible scriptures that I have is obviously Matthew 6:14-15. If you forgive those who sin against you, your heavenly Father, will forgive you. But if you refuse to forgive others, your Father will not forgive you. That is not what you want to happen, right? So I don't know how long this video is, but I do know that forgiving that person that did you wrong, that molested you, that cheated on you, that lied to you, that hurt you, that physically hurt you, that stole from you, anything. Like, I know there's people that I need to forgive. And I'm working on that, and that's also why I'm making this video, because I want to go back on this video and I want to watch it back, and I want to be able to say, okay, how do I still feel about this person? Do I forgive them? Yes. And I'm going to keep myself accountable by watching my videos back over and over again. But hopefully I'm praying for you. I pray that this video touches you. You watched it through, you're able to resonate with it, and just know that when you forgive people, you are opening so many more windows of opportunities. And I know I'm doing that with myself. I know that I'm not going to operate this way because I'm not looking at it that way. But as for forgiving yourself, I am going to make a whole nother video on that, because of course I don't want this video being too long, but at the same time, there's more deeper insight of why you need to forgive yourself more than just others, because like I said, it's kind of the same reasons, but there's bigger reasons, there's more reasons, right? My name is Donreal. This is Donreality. I'm actually not going to head back to my reality. I'm just trying to change my reality. So I know I used to say that in my endings, but I'm trying to change my reality, and hopefully, you subscribe and you change your reality as well. And yeah, I'm done. Yeah. All right.